Do aliens and UFOs exist in reality? Even if you might not believe it, you would doubt if they do exist. Well, the Congressional Hearing on UFOs has answers to all of your questions. 3 former military officials have revealed what nobody would have believed otherwise. Aliens and UFOs exist. During the Congressional Hearing on UFOs, these 3 officials became whistleblowers. They gave testimonies under oaths that the US government is in possession of non-human biological matter. It even knows more than what it tells the public. Some testimonies have even changed what the congressmen used to think about aliens, UFOs, and controversies linked with the US government covering evidence. Reports of the unidentified aerial phenomenon, whistleblowers' testimonies, and the Pentagon's concern do prove one thing: the US government can no longer cover aliens, UFOs, and the evidence it holds. But what was said in those testimonies? Watch this video to know the inside story, key takeaways, and what has happened so far. Let's get started. On July 26, 2023, 3 ex-military men reached the House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security, the Border and Foreign Affairs. They were given testimonies many had been waiting for months for. The military officials we are talking about are David Grush, a former military intelligence officer, David Fravor, a former Navy commander, and Ryan Graves, a retired Navy pilot. Earlier this year, Grush took center stage in headlines both nationally and internationally. He boldly asserted that the US government possesses intact and partially intact vehicles of extraterrestrial origin. He even shared his own encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena. He revealed that he had been crossing paths with these mysterious objects along the Atlantic coast, a routine occurrence that extended over several years. Armed with his background in examining unidentified aerial phenomena within a branch of the U.S. Department of Defense, Grush laid out elaborate details. He revealed how government agencies and defense contractors have been recovering fragments and even entire non-human crafts for decades. Among these crafts, some were described as impressively substantial, comparable to the size of a football field. To add intrigue, Grush expressed concerns about unsettling incidents connected to these unidentified flying objects. Let's break down everything that happened during the congressional hearing. Number 1. Government is definitely holding unidentified flying objects. In his testimony, Grush said that the US government and the Pentagon are holding essential information about UFOs being unjustly concealed from Congress. He hinted at the existence of a Pentagon's covert crash retrieval program that actively collects debris from downed UFOs. In response to a question from Representative Jared Moskowitz of Florida regarding funding, Grush unveiled a surprising revelation. He disclosed that this initiative operated beyond the purview of congressional oversight and was funded through what he termed a misappropriation of funds. The BBC already reported in 2017 that the Pentagon was involved in multi-million-dollar secret UFO programs. Moskowitz probed further, seeking clarification on whether this implied the diversion of funds from one purpose to another. Grush confirmed this interpretation and asserted his direct knowledge of such instances. In response, the House Oversight Committee sprung into action, launching an inquiry and orchestrating the upcoming hearing. Their goal? To uncover the extent of the government's knowledge, or lack of it, concerning UFOs. Grush also stated that he did an extensive series of interviews with 40 witnesses spanning 4 years. Number 2. Non-human biological matter discovered at crash location. Grush said that he had access to first-hand accounts from multiple colleagues who had been injured due to their encounters with UFOs. In other words, even if they could not make sense of what those entities were, they faced the impacts. But that's not the end of the story. Grush shared that he had conducted interviews with individuals who had been involved in rescuing non-human biologics from UAP crash sites. Yes, he chose the word non-human instead of aliens, because he was not sure whether they were actually extraterrestrial. But he was certain of one thing: they were not humans. When asked by Representative Eric Burleson of Missouri to provide evidence for his claims regarding crashed UAPs, Grush acknowledged the sensitivity of the subject matter. It's because several missions and operations carried out by the Pentagon have classified status. Hence, their precise details cannot be shared. But he made the discussion quite profound. He said that he could not go into details because they were quite disturbing. It's essential to decode what he means by disturbing. Since Grush's testimony was aimed at the Pentagon, its spokesperson said that Grush was making false accusations. Before we continue any further, tell us, are you enjoying the video? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos on trending topics, economy, finance, and business. Let's continue now. Number 3. Authorities should create a secure and open system for reporting. The UFO Congressional Hearing reached a good point. Lawmakers and witnesses agreed to establish a strong and clear system for reporting unidentified aerial phenomena. Their main goal was to make it easy for both the public and the military to share information about their experiences with UAPs. During these discussions, a significant idea came up. They suggested creating a detailed way for military personnel to report any sightings of these mysterious objects. Perhaps this already exists, but military officials are restricted to share any details. During the hearing, Ryan Graves, a former Navy pilot, brought up a big concern. He pointed out that military pilots often didn't have enough information about UAPs, which left them unsure about how to handle these strange situations. Graves also mentioned that even pilots from commercial airlines had reported seeing UAPs. This got them talking about setting up a safe and open way for pilots from both the military and commercial airlines to report UAP sightings. Representative Garcia agreed, saying it's important to have an easy way for pilots to share this kind of information. Representative Virginia Fox, who also wanted more openness, reminded everyone about what Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the head of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, had said before. He had mentioned that there wasn't enough solid proof of aliens. Grush disagreed with Kirkpatrick and made the point that the government should be more open about what it knows. Number 4. Fear of stigma keeps potential witnesses quiet. Then, the conversation switched to the problem of people feeling embarrassed to talk about UFO sightings. This might make it harder to figure out where these strange things are coming from. Since the government has made the topic of UFOs quite unreliable, people might encounter UFOs but still don't report them. However, if the government accepts that UFOs exist, people might be more conscious about what to do when they see them. Also, whenever someone reports about UFOs, they are made fun of. It's because this topic has become a source of fun. People have accepted that UFOs and aliens don't exist without evidence that proves it. Graves noticed that this embarrassment was making pilots stay quiet, especially because they were worried about how it might affect their jobs. He also talked about how recent statements from the government made people doubt whether what they saw was real. What's interesting is that pilots don't have an easy way to report UFO sightings to the people who need to know. Because of all these problems, Graves started a special group to try and make things better. This group wants to change the rules, support pilots who speak up, and make the military and government more open about UFOs. The main point that came out of all these talks was that we need an easy and safe way for people to report UFOs. This will help us learn more about these mysterious flying objects in the sky. Lawmakers were hopeful that the hearing could ease the worries of pilots who were unsure about sharing their experiences. They emphasized that the hearing wasn't meant to be the final word, but rather a new beginning. The aim is to encounter more reports and thorough investigations into unidentified aerial phenomena. Number 5. UFO spotted accelerating at supersonic speeds. David Fravor, a former Navy commander, in his testimony shared his encounter with a UFO in 2004. He said that he and 3 fellow military pilots saw a white object resembling a tic-tac hovering just above the Pacific Ocean, right below their aircraft. As Fravor descended for a closer look, the unidentified object, without any visible wings, rotors, or exhaust, began to rise and move toward his fighter jet. Oddly, the UAP vanished briefly, only to reappear a short time later, but this time it was 60 miles away. Fravor emphasized that the technology displayed by the UAP made no logical sense and surpassed anything they had. He expressed a sense of helplessness, noting their inability to respond effectively. What do you think? Is the US government in possession of non-human biological matter? Is the Pentagon really hiding evidence? Let us know your take on what should be done to reach the core of the whole matter. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We bring videos on current affairs, business, and the economy to keep you updated. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned!